allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. Did you guys have a chance to take a look at your minutes from the last meeting for June 13th?
I didn't know what Toby, I could see.
Yeah, I know. I seen that.
I read them. I make a motion to accept the minutes from the June 13th meeting.
Motion on the floor by Mike. Can we get a second?
I'll second.
Second by Stephanie. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Agenda this evening. Any additions or corrections to the agenda?
The one addition of the developers agreement that I handed out to everybody, so that we can get things going with the demo for Essentia.
I took a look at,
Do we want to just approve it and then talk about it later?
well, the thing is, no, because if we don't have a signed copy of the developers agreement, we can't approve the developers agreement unless we have a signed copy, and this is just a copy.
Well, I brought it to you guys so that we can send it to Essentia.
Okay.
This is the correction, the things you see in blue are the corrections that the attorney sent us.
Okay.
And so that way we can.
We'll just approve the copy,
Right.
the draft copy.
Right, just so that we can get it up to Essentia, so I wanna make sure you guys all had a chance to
Okay.
read it.
Were there any other additions or corrections?
Nope, just that.
I would like to make an addition or
That.
correction. Yeah, Morrison County Hazard Mitigation Plan resolution. I would like to table that till the next council meeting.
Okay.
So, other additions or corrections? If not, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Motion on the floor by Donnie,
I'll second.
second by Gene. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Unanimously. First item on the agenda, Edward Street bid acceptance.
Guys, we pull up chairs.
Sure,
might as well
absolutely.
Come up here.
I make them stand.
Wow. We are getting
Oh,
hot.
it is getting tough. Tough crowd.
Tough crowd.
I'll take a tough crowd. That's great. All right, I was out last week. We opened bids for Edward Street and Third there. Five bidders. Tri-City Paving being the low bidder. I don't think there's too much surprise in that. They're generally our paving outfit in the area. Anderson Brothers was a close second. That's pretty good bids when we start seeing the bottom three were grouped together and the top two guys just figured, you know what, there's time. And we get entitled to it.
Yeah.
So I was pretty happy with bids. My estimate's between number 2 and number 3. So anytime we're in the middle there,
It's a good place to be.
that's a good place to be, exactly. And plus, I don't run paper very well, so I don't want to deal with it. So at this point, how much you guys want to go through it, I'll leave that up to you. Or if you have questions about the bid tabulation here, certainly can answer those for you. But otherwise, my recommendation would be to approve Tri-City Paving for $203,650.
Anybody have any questions? This is our engineer from SEH, by the way, and he was headed up the project as far as not only development and estimating, but the bid process and stuff. So just so folks design, just so folks know who he is.
Yep. Dave Blumel, by the way.
Dave.
He's like Scott's right-hand man.
I do the work and Scott gets the credit.
You want to turn that microphone around a little bit?
You want to get that on?
I think it came through nice.
I can repeat that all you like.
We can cover that comment after the meeting and down the street a little bit.
Just send it out to my supervisor, that's all that's important.
Terry will get you some direct quotes. Does the council have any questions or issues on the bid or the bid amount we received from Tri-City being a low bid at $203,650? If not, we will need a motion to accept Tri-City's bid.
I make that motion.
There's a motion on the floor from Stephanie. You get a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Donnie. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. We also need to approve the engineer's professional services agreement for helping us manage, engineer, and everything throughout the course of the project. I believe that dollar amount was $21,700. That was including expenses and equipment. from Steph, and get a second.
Oh.
Second by Gina, all those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. Any idea when our start date is?
You know, with the, it's a pretty rapid schedule we have in there with completion date mid-August like that. I would assume they're gonna be looking to kick off shortly after the 4th here. I know they are fairly busy, but we'll get them and reclaim that road. You gotta pull that aggregate off. So there's certainly some work out there, and Tri-State City's schedule, you know, the paving guys aren't the biggest hindrance right now, it's the reclaiming that. So,
Sure.
We'll hold a pre-con as soon as we get contract signed and everything, in order.
Do we know, will Tri-City will probably sub out the pipe work?
There is very minimal pipe work,
Right,
so.
I mean,
yeah,
it's
I
just
would-
that one intersection,
I
or
would
will
very
they?
much assume so, yeah.
Cause I don't know much of that they do.
I haven't seen their subcontract list, but that being said, they generally don't do their own pipe
Yeah.
work. It would be news to me if they did bring in a pipe crew.
Yeah.
And then they'll kind of facilitate Bob's lumber and Ripsod getting things,
Absolutely.
as long as it's opened up there.
Yeah, I think Ripsod is doing, I think they had a service replacement that they wanted to take care of. It may actually have taken care of already. I know he was going to, Bob was gonna get that going, so.
Okay.
But yeah, no, we'll certainly work with the lumber company to make sure they're in business here. You know, the nice thing about a reclaim project is we're not pulling out curb and gutter, so we don't have that concrete curing time. So we'll come right in pretty well.
Very good.
All right. Well, if I don't think
Anything else you need from us?
I need nothing else unless you wanna sign this tonight or you wanna just email it to me.
I have copies they can sign and then I'll shoot them over to you.
Sounds good.
Okay,
I'll get out of your hair.
thank you much.
Thanks.
Have a nice evening.
Yep, you too.
We're gonna leave the hot seat up
You
here.
might as well.
Thank you. We're looking for our next,
Chief off, Jack's get that hot seat right for now.
All right. Thank you.
Sorry, you guys. Bob in the background. Banyon Data Systems. Kari, you wanna talk a little bit about what Banyon is and kind of what led us to this new software system for the city?
So as you all know, we received an encryption virus, which kind of locked up a bunch of stuff on the network. It mostly affected Cubic. What that does is it just goes in and it locks the files. So we don't have to worry about anybody going in and seeing any data. They didn't take anything, they just locked it all up. So we operated without Cubic for a week, which caused a lot of headaches in the office. And after speaking with a couple people and all of you on the council, we decided that Banyon moving forward is gonna be the best option for us. So what that will do is it will replace Cubic, so the utility billing software. It will replace CTAS, so the fund accounting stuff. It will add a payroll system in, so that will be separate from, like CTAS runs them all now together, so that will be separate. We will have a program that we will be able to track dog licenses and any violations that go along with that. It will track building permits and all of that stuff too, as well as work orders. So that's what we're looking at implementing here.
I know the council is aware, we've been talking about budgeting for this and have started to budget for it last year. The system is old. We're one of the only few left, I think, in the state who use the system. And I know it's fairly primitive, but it's worked for us. I mean, it's worked for us to this point. We kind of got caught in a situation where now's the time to do it. While we're having all the headaches with it, why don't we just scrap what we got and start over? Is there gonna be a lot of data type entry?
There's not. The good thing is, last Friday, I was able to receive, last Friday, I was able to receive a way to get back into Cubic. So we were able to save all of our data. So all I have to do, and I've already begun the process, I've been in contact with Banyon, cause they said they wanted to get the conversion going because they have their programmers leaving for a couple weeks. And so I've already given them a lot of our data. I just have to drop them, now that billing has processed, drop them the new customer data, so. And I was gonna wait till you guys approved
Okay.
Banyon.
And then the training and stuff, they're gonna come out and.
Right, they will come here and train, they will train on each system, for us, and it will be like one day for each system.
Okay, and I know Linda wanted to be involved with some of that too, and probably be kinda nice if Gina was involved with some of that too, so you guys get an understanding of how that system works with your elected positions.
Kari getting the training and then she would
Train down.
train
Yeah.
down, yeah.
Sure.
So Scott and I will sit in on the training, so that way if we have questions in the future, if I have questions or the new city administrator has questions about things, and how the city operated in the past with certain things, Scott will be able to help with that,
Okay.
instead of being kind of lost out in space,
Sure.
with not knowing how to run the new system.
Sure.
And then I will train down anybody who wants to train down, so.
Okay, thanks, Kari.
Mhm.
We need to have council approval to move forward and purchase that system. I think it's on your.
It's like 17,000.
Yeah, 17,922. And Scott and I have budgeted 6,400 for it already, so we do already have that set aside.
Yeah, it is. That was a cost of, what did you say the overall was?
$17,922.
We will need council approval to move forward with this.
I make a motion that we move forward with Banyon's data proposal.
Motion on the floor by Mike, can we get a second?
I'll second.
Second by Gene, all those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. We have a TIF public hearing, we need to set, Scott wasn't gonna be here, this evening, but is the TIF, project that we're looking at doing would be the, TIF for the old bank and the, home to the north of it, so we would have to take and establish a new TIF district. I think you've all kinda got this kind of a schedule laid out of how we would go about doing that, for the, new Essentia Health, building. And basically what that TIF is gonna do, it's a TIF by the city, so the city would be able to recoup some of the costs, and that cost would go back to the EDA for the, removal of the buildings. So, it's a really good deal for the city, being as though we don't have to use any tax dollars, out of the EDA, and the, TIF comes back to the EDA, so that's gonna be a nice deal for us, so. We have a public hearing that will have to get posted. We can do that, I guess, anytime after well, we should get it done now, I guess. It would be 7 PM, August 8th would be the public hearing.
And Scott and I spoke with Jason, we're looking at bumping it up to 6:30 so that we can have our regular council meeting that night,
Okay,
cause it is a council Monday, so.
is that what we want to schedule it for?
6:30
6:30.
public hearing.
6:30 public
Okay.
hearing on that
Mm.
council Monday on the 8th.
Okay, it's gotta tell you where we all need to post for that.
Yep.
That'll be July 8th or August 8th?
August 8th.
August 8th.
Yep.
Cause we have to do all these other things
Yeah.
first.
I'll make a motion if we need one.
Yeah, let's make one done.
I'll make a motion to set the TIF for August 8th at 6:30 PM.
There's a motion on the floor from Don, can we get a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mike, all those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously.
Question for that though, Kari, if, we did advertise for bids for demoing those two buildings. Do we have to wait to demo them until all this TIF stuff is in order, or can we
No.
proceed?
No, we can proceed forward and then the TIF will just kind of reimburse.
Cause that all comes out of the EDA stuff.
Right,
Yep.
well, I just didn't know, you know, I mean, we don't
Yeah,
wanna
we gotta
hold this
establish
project.
we have to establish a TIF district and all that first, and get all that stuff. And we can double check with,
Yeah, I can double check with
David
Jake,
now.
yeah, I'll check with Jason tomorrow,
Yeah.
that's who we've been working with, and,
Okay.
but just to make sure, but yeah, the way that it sounded is that it can be.
Right.
We can start.
Yep.
Okay, we also, do we want to do that, you wanna look at that public, or that developers agreement? If you guys have any input on that? that there was, did our attorney do this, look at this, Kari?
Yeah, anything
Okay,
that's
so
in
in
blue is
blue,
what he
okay.
added.
Him.
Yep,
He's,
okay.
he's agreed to
Yep,
everything.
okay.
This isn't, I mean, again, this is a, kind of a bare bones is what we want at a developer's agreement. All this is doing is protecting the city and the EDA fund. And, so if we approve this, now we can get it up to Essentia.
I will send it to Essentia for approval and, well, their review and approval.
Yeah, well, I'm sure their
Right.
attorney's gonna look at it.
Yep.
And it looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, I had a chance to review the first rough copy before it went to the attorney, so I think.
And I have, I'd make a motion that we, move forward with this developer's agreement to, forward, Essentia Health and keep the ball rolling.
There's a motion on the floor, Mike, your motion is for, to approve the draft.
Correct.
Final draft, okay. There is a motion on the floor from Mike to approve the final draft of the developer's agreement. Can we get a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Donnie, all those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. Community picnic, Cherie Boser had sent over a, note wanting to, set that up again this year and manage that project. I think she was looking for, some approval from the council, and there is a line item.
I would say, don't we still have some funds in that?
Yeah, we should have a, community picnic account, that there's some funds.
There's a line item, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Scott and I spoke, about that too, so yeah, what she's looking for is she wants to be able to bring her bills in here.
Yep.
And then just us, just to cut checks to the businesses for the expenses or
Yep.
whatever, so.
Yep.
I think that's what the auditor had suggested,
Right,
because
yes.
before it was set up and
They
then
were-
whoever was
Where
running
they
it,
had a
they were writing
separate
the checks.
checkbook, yeah. on that.
And the auditor said it needed to be run through the city.
Right,
Exactly.
Do you know how much is in it?
I don't. And she did say that there was, she said there was some in there, but it, yeah, she said it was very little.
Yeah.
I think
Normally they
she's-
go to the gambling, you know, there'll probably
Fire
be
department.
donations coming in to it that will go in that account too.
Yeah.
You know, from either the Lions or the Fire Department Relief Association, I know they.
Yeah, and this letter she's gonna take, she has about 30 copies, I think she said that she's gonna take out to local, like nonprofit organizations. She wanted to stay away from the businesses because that's what she's trying to promote and thank.
Yeah.
So different organizations within the community in the surrounding area that would hopefully give donations to pay for the event to happen. So,
I don't think there was more than a few $100 in that account anyway.
Yeah, it
And
didn't sound like there
normally
was very
every
much in
year,
there.
I mean, it costs $500 to put that thing on.
That's to get people that donate stuff, yeah. So I say it's, very commendable, I'm glad she's, wanting to do this again, I kinda missed not having it last year.
You know, last year we didn't have it.
Yeah, yeah, so, thank Cherie and, her family for wanting to do something again, very nice. We don't need to do anything as a council, it's just kind of an FYI, the way I read it.
Yeah.
Give our
that's
blessing.
right. Yep.
To go again, yeah.
Essentia Health update, do we have anything other than we just went through as far as,
The only,
developers agreement?
the only thing I have, bids are open, for demo, we can post that in the paper, so what, the plan is here is that they will be read aloud, at the next meeting, so on Monday, July 11th.
Okay.
We'll open them and read them aloud, yep.
Okay, very good.
And then you guys can make a motion on it that night or do whatever you wanna do, so.
Okay. Very good, so those are posted and we will be opening them at the council meeting, good. Thank you. Don, we have any building permits?
Yes, we do. So we actually have 4. We're gonna go through the first 3, which were approved by planning and zoning. And we'll get those signed off on first, and then we'll talk about the last one. So first one is Rich Prairie Sewer and Water District. They're looking to fence in around the water tower and the well caps. That one was approved by planning and zoning. Second one is Herb Stump to add 12 by 12, actually it's existing concrete, he wants to take it off, put new down in front of his garage. And the third one is Betty Fighton to replace the sidewalk in front of her house, which is 6 feet wide by 32 foot long, which was all three were approved by planning and zoning. The other one is Tom and Jackie Primusberger. Theirs has been denied, turned down by planning and zoning. Basically, what ends up happening is planning and zoning in our book, it says that the side yard next to a road has to be 30 feet. And what Tom has is 11 feet. So the house would face, right now, the house would face Cassie, so the backyard would face towards the west. And they would end up being 10 feet from the property line to the south, and I think it's the Schliemann that owns the house to the south.
Yep.
But to the north, there's only 11 feet, and then they're on the road.
Oh,
And according to our
The road or the sidewalk?
road right away.
road right.
Okay.
So according to our plan and zoning, that has to be 30 feet. So they do have an option and to turn it, the house the opposite way, and then the backyard would, the front yard would face park, and the backyard then would face south. At this point, Tom is asking for us to do a variance.
Okay.
So we will be denying that tonight in terms of the council.
Okay.
And then Kari needs to get the letter or whatever to, whatever we have to do to get that rolling.
Mhm.
And our goal would be is we'd send the letters out and then, the council meeting coming up in 2 weeks, we'd have, that variance board meet before us. So maybe we could have them meet at 6, 5:30 or 6, something like that.
Sure, we'll have to post for that too, Kari, just so.
Yep.
FYI.
I'll post once he turns in his application.
Yep.
So I think it's done tonight.
Okay.
And that should be coming in, I think, tomorrow.
It sounded like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way wise, that board can meet, and then that board would give us, at our next council meeting, would give us their recommendation, either yes or no.
Okay.
So, that's what we have for planning zoning for
So
them.
we have, how many we have right now?
3 here that are a go, and 1 is a no, so 4 total.
Okay, 4 total.
Yes.
Okay, we will need a, motion from the council to approve 3, Betty Clayton, Herb, Stump, and Bridgeberry Sewer and Water District. Get a motion to have those approved.
I'll make that motion.
Motion on the floor by Mike,
I'll second.
second by Steph. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously.
You wanna do the denial one or no?
We don't
Should
have to,
have.
yeah,
Good to
it
go.
hasn't got to us yet, no,
Yep.
yep, exactly. Chief, you got anything for us this evening?
I don't, I'm here just if there's any questions, Mayor.
Thanks, Eric.
Yep.
Kari?
I have, just so everybody is aware and on the same page, the city administrative posting closed at 4:30 today, and then you guys met before the meeting. We need to appoint me or somebody, as the data privacy, interim until we get somebody in that position, so that if something happens or whatever, I can get into, or somebody can get into those drawers.
Yeah.
Only makes sense to have you, you're here every day.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we appoint Kari as data privacy officer until we find a permanent city administrator.
I'll
Correct? That's-
second that motion.
Okay.
Motion on the floor by Steph, second by Mike. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously.
The other thing is, Scott's contract moving forward. I didn't know if you guys wanted to discuss that
Yeah,
tonight, or-
let's bring that up.
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah. What we basically did is we had Scott is gonna help out through this hiring process and give the new city administrator some help, getting up to speed and getting used to what's going on here. We thought about a couple different ways to keep Scott on. He was officially off the payroll as of last Friday. So we could have worked it out a couple different ways. We could have paid him his salary and benefit package in cash, and he would have to do a 1099 at the end of the year and claim it, do however he wanted to do it. Scott's suggestion was, it didn't make sense at first, but it did when I found out more about it, was what he would suggest is, being as though he is going to work for David Drilling and Associates on a part-time basis, if we would contract out through David Drum, and Scott would provide his services, and NJPA would actually reimburse the city or pay half of that cost through a contract they have with David Drum Associates. So they would pick up half the fee on that. I talked with Hannah from NJPA. She said she didn't see a problem with it. We have to let Scott know. She said Scott will set up the paperwork and everything that needs to be done and taken care of.
So how many hours a week, or what are you looking at contracting him for then?
I don't know, Steph. That's a real good question. It has needed, on a has needed basis right now. I wouldn't think it'd be more than a few hours a week.
And then,
I don't know.
and then are we still paying him the severance or whatever he still had coming you talked about?
His,
Well, you talked about paying out, or were you talking about just paying him for contract work?
yeah, what we were originally, or what I was originally thinking is if we paid him his salary and Benny package, so it wouldn't cost us anything more, but we'd no longer be taking out the payroll taxes. He would have to claim that at the end of the year. Where this way, if we go through Drum and Associates, they're gonna take that out of his paycheck.
Okay.
Just cleaner that way, and we will get half of it.
It's
So,
reimbursed by NGPA, yeah.
did you come up with an hourly rate then, or wage, or what?
They designate what that.
They designate that
Yeah.
through Drum, so
Yeah.
they'll probably have a contract here for us at the next meeting then.
I
Yes,
don't
that would be my
Bless you.
assumption, excuse
I
me.
don't know if we contract directly through them, or we go through NGPA, and NGPA actually runs the contract.
Yeah, I'll have to figure out exactly who it'll be contracted
Yeah.
to, but there will be
Yeah,
a
but
contract
there will
presented
be
to you at the next
some.
meeting. Right.
We don't need to make any motions or anything on that.
Right now,
I
we're
guess
just
we
gonna
need
use
to
it as
motion to
professional.
use.
Yeah, we're just
To
gonna use
use.
it as professional
Right.
services through David Drum right now, so.
I make a motion to contract with David Drum for professional services for assistance during this transition phase.
That will work for me. There's a motion on the floor from Steph. Can we get a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Donnie. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously.
It's good that you seconded it, Donnie, because by you opposing the last vote and letting him go, the word on the street is you didn't like him.
You got several calls on that.
The
He
last,
says, no, he
Why is
wanted
Donnie
me to
Patelski hate
stay.
you so bad?
Yeah. So he was telling everybody, no, he wanted me to stay. The other one wanted me to leave. He wanted me to stay.
They're ones for the mean ones.
the last thing I have is I just wanted to let you guys know that, billing, payroll, and claims were all done, so we're up to date with all that stuff, so.
Thanks for taking the, bull by the horns on it, Gary.
I'm trying,
Yeah.
the ship's still floating, so, that's a good thing.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Anybody else have anything else? If not,
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
there is a motion on the floor by Donnie to adjourn. Can we get a second?
All set.
Second by Stephanie. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Thank you very much.
People down at that end are awfully quiet. I just